Ever walk into a place and it's just like awe-inspiring?
And I
That's
know,
like,
yeah.
but imagine that feeling underground,
Oh, okay.
surrounded by like speeding trains. That's the Moscow metro.
It's not your average subway, that's for
No,
sure.
no, not at all. And that's what we're diving into today.
Hmm.
We're going beyond just like the what it is and getting into the why.
It sounds fascinating.
It really is. We've got excerpts from History of Moscow, Russia, Metro. It's from How to Russia.
Okay.
And it really breaks down how this, what they call a palace for the people, became a symbol of Russia itself.
It's a lot more than just tunnels and trains, that's for sure.
Way more. Okay, so picture this with me. It's the 1930s, right? The USSR. They're flexing, showing off their industrial might.
Try to prove themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what better way than this huge GE engineering project?
Makes sense, yeah.
The first line opens in 1935
Of the metro.
of the Metro.
Yeah.
But it's not just about moving people efficiently. The article, it talks about these palatial stations, like designed to inspire awe in anyone who sees them.
Oh, interesting. What was the message, do you think?
That's what I was wondering. It's almost like saying, hey, we may have had a revolution, but look what we can create.
Right, like a sign of their progress.
Exactly. But
Oh.
then World War II hits. What happens to this grand vision when you've got bombs raining down?
I mean, you'd think construction would stop. Too dangerous.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But that's not what happens.
Oh.
Not even close. Construction, it not only continues, it actually intensifies.
Wow. Why is that?
Well, the stations, they take on a whole new meaning. They become this symbol of resilience.
Refusing to back down, even in the face of war.
Exactly. The article uses this phrase both a strategic necessity and a symbolic gesture.
What do they mean by that?
So they're digging deep
Literally.
for metro lines.
Yeah, but also metaphorically, you know. These stations are designed to double as bomb shelters.
Wow. Providing refuge for people.
Imagine that. Seeking safety, surrounded by marble and grandeur.
It's a powerful image, I've got to say.
It really is, this strange mix of opulence and terror. Like the human spirit's need for beauty, even in the darkest times.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
And it wasn't just about digging deeper, you know?
Right.
The article, it highlights how the designs themselves even changed.
Like instead of just, all that celebrating history and culture.
Which was a big theme early on, yeah.
Exactly. They started incorporating socialist realism.
Ah, okay. So like instead of the mosaics and stuff, you'd see more, like images of workers and soldiers?
Yeah. Like powerful images all united in the struggle.
It's almost propaganda then, isn't it?
It is. It's reflecting the wartime spirit, but it's also very calculated,
Yeah, by the government.
Totally. Using the metro to like reinforce their ideology.
It's fascinating how like a subway system can be about so much more than just getting around, you know?
Totally. Okay, but the war ends, right? The Soviet Union, they're victorious, but obviously things are tough. What happens to the metro then?
Rebuilding, it becomes a huge priority. But it wasn't just about like restoring what was damaged.
They wanted to make a statement, huh?
Absolutely. They'd proven they could survive.
Yeah.
Now it was about showcasing their ambition. That's when you get some of the most incredible stations.
Like which ones?
Komsomolskaya. They have these amazing mosaics depicting all these famous Russian military victories. And then Novoslobodskaya, known for its stained glass.
These weren't just train stops. They were works of art.
Imagine that, like a giant sigh of relief, but made of marble and mosaics, you know?
Celebrating survival.
Exactly. We made it. But also, you got to remember, this is the start of the Cold War.
Right. So the stakes, they just got higher.
Exactly. And the metro, it becomes part of this new competition, this ideological tug of war between,
East and West.
right. And it's interesting because on one hand, they're trying to outdo themselves with these grandiose designs.
But on the other hand,
They've got this huge looming threat to deal with.
the article mentions how they had to start thinking about the metro as a potential nuclear shelter. That's wild.
From palaces to bunkers.
Yeah.
Talk about a design challenge, huh?
It's like they're trying to, tell two stories at once.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
On the one hand, you've got the beauty, the grandeur. It's all about showing off how far they've come.
Right, but then there's this underlying
The tension. Like they've got to be ready for,
for the worst.
exactly. And the article was saying that even like the artwork starts to reflect this.
Oh, how
It
so?
becomes less about celebrating the past and more about, I don't know, projecting this specific future.
I see, yeah. Instead of the historical scenes, you'd have what? Images of strong Soviet citizens, like overcoming adversity?
Yeah. Highlighting strength, resilience, like this, almost this image of being invincible.
It's propaganda for sure, but it's also fascinating, you know? Imagine you're down there taking shelter.
During a nuclear attack.
Yeah, and you're surrounded by these images. It's got to have some kind of psychological impact, right?
It's like these stations, they're not just train stations, they're like time capsules, you know?
Capturing a moment in history.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, but the article ends talking about, modernization, making the metro accessible.
Keeping up with the times.
Exactly. But how do you do that with something so historically significant? Like, do you try to replicate the old style?
It's a tough one. Do you go sleek and modern, or try to capture that old grandeur?
It's a real balancing act. And it makes you think, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Like, what stories will the Moscow metro tell in the future?
It's not just a subway system, is it?
No, it's a journey through time, a reflection of Russia, and, I don't know, just a testament to what humans can create when they put their minds to it. It makes you want to hop on the next train to Moscow, doesn't it?
I think I might just do that.